Is this what your nails look like after you're done dipping them? Do you have dip all over your cuticles and on the sides of your nails? Well, let's talk today about how you can fix them. What's up, nail crew? It's Nicole, your fellow nail obsessed DIYer, and we're going to do a mani today, and I'm going to show you guys how to fix your nails when you end up getting dip all over the sides. I've been wanting to do a video about this for a while because if you know me, you know I'm a pretty messy dipper, and I don't really go into this when I do my videos because I'm usually trying to talk about like some kind of skill that we're doing, like if we're doing color blocking or a glitter ombre, something like that. But this one I decided, okay, I knew I made a mess of it. This would be a perfect time to show everybody how you can fix your manis when they get messed up. Okay, I'm not a professional. I am a home DIYer that's been doing it for like 3.5 years and I still mess up. You can see me right here. I go to apply my dip base down on my nails, and I don't even know what I was thinking. I just like glopped a bunch back at the back, then went and got more out of the bottle and tried to slap it on my nail and fix the base that was already there. I really don't know what I was thinking. I was really tired when I did this mani. I feel like I say that pretty much every video that I do because I'm always doing my nails at night and I'm always tired at night. I thought I could fix putting too much base on for some reason by putting more base on. Okay, that does not work. That's why before I even went and dipped, you saw me go around my cuticles with those little stabby sticks that I use, and I tried to wipe some off, and it worked a decent amount, but not that great. Okay, so we're like already off to a not great start. Doing my pinky, I put too much dip base on that as well. So even if you've been dipping for a long time, sometimes you can put too much dip base on or not enough. And in today's mani, I was definitely putting too much dip base on pretty much every single nail. And by the time like I really realized what I was doing, I don't know, I couldn't get my fingers to put less dip base on. I don't know what's going wrong. Like, it was just one of those nights where, you know, you're just not like things, one of those nights, days, whatever you're doing your manis, it's just things just aren't going right. And you can see both on my pointer and my pinky that I have a bunch of dip on the sides of my nails, and I really tried to push my cuticles back before I dipped so I wouldn't flood them, but I didn't do that great of a job. It's not terrible. Like, I've definitely done my nails a lot worse than this. But for me, you know, this is messing them up that then I know I'm going to have to go and do a lot of filing. I didn't have to do a lot of buffing, but I ended up doing more than I normally do just to try to fix it so they wouldn't look so uneven with all the stuff I had to pull off the sides. Then when I went in to do my clear dip powder over my nails and then I activated them, I realized I put too much clear on too, and a bunch of it pooled into my cuticles. But I thought at this point it's already on, I'm going to activate, and then I'll just end up having to file it off later. Anytime I'm using solids or shimmers with the mani that I'm doing, I like to do my last layer of clear dip first and activate that so I don't get any of my glitters or my flakes or my foils, whatever else I'm using, that I don't get those mixed in with my solids or my shimmers. Because as you've seen me throughout these videos, I'm a pretty messy dipper. So if I don't top with clear on my solid or shimmer nails, I tend to end up getting some of the glitters or flakes or foils into those nails, which after I work so hard, like I've just realized is not worth it. It is so much better for me to go and put the clear on those nails first before I try to go in with my glitter or flakes and foils. The two colors that I'm using in this mani are from two different New Girl collections from OG Dip Powder. The blue is called I Don't Wash the Towel washes me, and the white shimmer with the foils in them, that's called Errrday. If you watch the show, you're going to know exactly what these are referring to. The blue is from the character Nick Miller when he talks about how little he doesn't wash his towel, basically never, because he washes his body or he cleans his body and then the towel is clean when it's drying him. So he's saying he doesn't need to ever wash his towels. Anyways, it's a hilarious scene. If you know the character Schmidt from New Girl, he's the one who always says Errrday. He has like, that is seriously one of the funniest shows that I've ever watched. Sidebar, if you want something to just escape and have fun and laugh, it's just goofy, funny, and at night when I can't sleep, that's like my go-to show. I started dipping Errrday. I'm probably like definitely butchering how to say that because in the show it's way funnier when he says that. But when you're dipping flakes, you want to make sure you put them into some kind of container. I'm using these little dip cups, and then you want to shake the flakes or foils, whatever you're using, shake them up to the top so that when you lay your nail flat onto it, they all come up to the top and you get a majority of those flakes or foils. And I do the same thing with glitters. These were foils, so I wanted to make sure that they didn't bleed in between layers. When you're dipping foils, you want to make sure that you really float your brush. If you push your brush down really hard on each layer, you're going to make the foils bleed. That happens to a lot of people if you're not being careful. When you're dipping foils, something that you also want to really make sure that you do when you're dipping foils is let the layer before it fully dry before doing the next one. Before I zoom in on my thumb to show you the difference between what floating and dragging the base over, I'm showing you guys how I added some extra foils. If you feel like your foil coverage isn't great and isn't as much as you would have liked, just dab a little stabby nail tool or a little cuticle pushers, or some kind of toothpick into the foil, and then just add some extra pieces with a little bit of dip base onto those nails. You saw me with my thumb. I was very gently going across it with the dip base. I did not push it down really hard. When you think about floating base over your nail, whether it's base, dip base, or whether it's gel base, you want to think about like floating in the water, right? You're going very gently, very calmly over the top of the water. You're not like diving in deep. So think about that with your nails. Instead of diving down deep, pressing the brush really hard on your nails, you're gently just floating along the surface so that you don't press down really hard into your nails, which would be like not jumping down, diving down hard into the water. Man, I'm really proud of myself for that analogy. So once I finished dipping the foils, then I went in with my clear dip powder. I activated that, and then I waited till it dried so that I could do all my filing, buffing, shaping, and we can get to how you clean up those nails, how you clean up your sides when you make a mess on your cuticles, because you don't want to leave any of the powder on your cuticles. It's going to cause your nails to lift a lot faster. And the more that you leave product on the sides of your skin, you could cause allergies and contact dermatitis. It's going to be one of the two of them. Whether when it's gels, it's typically allergies, and dips, it seems to be more contact dermatitis and then eventually allergies. So the first thing I like to do is I like to get my buffing and shaping out of the way, because you want to have a nice smooth surface to start, so that you can really get in there with an e-file. And I am going to use an e-file because I found that that is really, for me, the only way that I can get deep, that I can get into the crevices and corners around my cuticle without cutting them. The bit that I'm using to get really close to my cuticles without cutting them is different than what I normally use. Because the product is on my skin over my cuticles, I can't use my normal bit because that would just cut right through my skin. So this bit is the Pana 5-in-1 carbide bit, the two-way rotate, and it is a lot gentler than the barrel bit that I normally use to crisp up my cuticle lines, is what I call them, basically like make my cuticle lines look nice. This one I actually use to go around and I get in the little area in between my cuticle and where my dip should be stopped, and I very gently at like probably, I think the RPM that I use is like 3,000 to 5,000 RPMs, and I very gently like loosen up that dip from my skin before I go in with my super sharp Pana barrel bit, which both of them are fine, but the 5-in-1 bit has a bit more of a curve to it, more of the like taper down and around the sides. It's not a safety bit, but it's a lot more gentle than the barrel bit that I normally use to go around. I'll make sure I leave a link to this bit in the description so you guys can get in on this awesome little bit to get any product off of your cuticles so that you have those nicer cuticle lines. If you're still struggling with dip nails, make sure you check out this next video, 10 reasons why your dip nails lift, and make sure you're subscribed because I've got some really big things coming up for my nail crew. Thanks so much for joining me today, nail crew.